Here's what motorcycle dealerships will never tell you when you're browsing their showroom floor. What if I told you that 68% of motorcycle owners face repair bills exceeding $5,000 within their first 3 years? That's not bad luck. 68% get financially destroyed because they bought bikes engineered to look impressive, not to stay reliable. Picture yourself excited about your new purchase only to end up selling it at a massive loss because the repair costs are crushing your budget. In this video, I'm exposing the 17 motorcycles that will bankrupt you faster than a casino addiction. And trust me, number 1 will shock you. It's a bike so problematic it literally destroyed the company that made it. Stay until the end, because this isn't just entertainment. It's your financial survival guide to avoiding the expensive nightmares that ruin most riders' dreams. Number 17. Suzuki RE5, 1975 to 1976. Starting our countdown is the Suzuki RE5, a motorcycle that tried to revolutionize the industry with its Wankel rotary engine. This wasn't just ambitious, it was financial suicide on 2 wheels. The RE5's rotary engine generates massive amounts of heat, requiring an enormous radiator just to prevent meltdown. It guzzles oil like a thirsty truck, burning through lubricant at an alarming rate. We're talking about seal work needed every 60,000 to 70,000 miles. And when that time comes, you're looking at $1,900 to $7,200 for a complete engine rebuild. Even a used rotary engine will set you back around $1,700. The complexity is mind-boggling. 5 separate cables connected to the throttle just to operate the oil pump system. This wasn't motorcycle engineering. It was aerospace technology forced into a bike frame. The maintenance requirements were so extreme that most mechanics refused to work on them. Suzuki themselves knew they had a catastrophic problem. They stripped away most of the expensive features after just 1 year and discontinued the model entirely. That should tell you everything about how financially devastating this bike was to own. Number 16. Bimota 500 V2, 1997 to 2005. The Bimota 500 V2 makes our RE5 look reliable by comparison. This bike had design flaws so catastrophic that they literally bankrupted the company. When a motorcycle kills its own manufacturer, you know you're dealing with something special. The direct fuel injection system was fundamentally broken from day one. Engineers promised cutting-edge technology, but delivered a nightmare that only worked properly in a tiny RPM range, constantly fouling spark plugs and delivering power so unpredictable it was dangerous. Riders never knew if the bike would accelerate smoothly or jerk violently without warning. But the real killer was the crankcase seal defect. The castings didn't have enough material around critical sealing surfaces, leading to crankshaft failures that would seize pistons without any warning signs. Oil would leak internally, contaminating the combustion chamber and destroying expensive components. This wasn't wear and tear. This was catastrophic engineering failure. When your bike's problems are so severe they destroy the manufacturer, you know you're in financial trouble. Engine rebuilds start at $2,000, but many of these bikes simply cannot be fixed economically. The company went into receivership because these problems were unfixable at any reasonable cost, leaving owners with expensive paperweights. Number 15. Norton F1 Sport, 1989 to 1991. With only 140 units ever built, the Norton F1 Sport is the definition of exclusive. Unfortunately, it's also exclusively expensive to maintain, turning rarity into a financial curse. That Wankel rotary engine burns through a liter of oil every 1,000 miles. Not because of leaks, but by design. The engine literally consumes oil as part of its lubrication system, like a 2-stroke on steroids. It's incredibly sensitive to oil brands, requiring a complete system flush if you dare change lubricants. Imagine having to drain and refill your entire oil system just because you used a different brand. The engine runs rough at low RPMs, making city riding jerky and unpleasant. It overheats constantly, turning summer rides into endurance tests. Apex seals wear out prematurely, and when they fail, the entire engine becomes scrap metal. Accessing the gearbox requires removing the entire engine, a job that takes days and costs thousands. A Wankel engine rebuild will cost you anywhere from $1,900 to $7,200. Custom performance work can hit $5,995. With original parts virtually non-existent and no aftermarket support, every repair becomes a treasure hunt that ends with custom fabrication and astronomical bills. This isn't a motorcycle. It's a mechanical art piece that punishes anyone who actually tries to ride it. Number 14, Can-Am Spyder, all model years. The Can-Am Spyder consistently ranks as one of the least reliable vehicles in Consumer Reports. This three-wheeled machine combines the worst aspects of snowmobiles and ATVs into one expensive headache. Battery issues cause power, steering, and lighting malfunctions. The braking system squeaks constantly, damaging rotors and reducing performance. Belt drive systems vibrate due to looseness. Exhaust gaskets burn out every 5,000 miles. Coolant leaks are routine. The paddle gear shifter becomes stiff when wet, and the joystick controlling the LCD screen fails on rainy days. Drive belts cost $300 to $410 plus labor. Coolant leak repairs range from $50 for minor hose issues to $2,500 for head gasket replacements. The frequency of problems means you're constantly paying for repairs, making this three-wheeler a never-ending money drain. Number 13, Triumph Street Triple, pre-2011 models. The Triumph Street Triple earns its spot because electrical problems account for 2/3 of all owner complaints. This isn't just inconvenience, it's expensive inconvenience. Rectifier issues lead to dead batteries, wiring problems, and alternator failures. These electrical malfunctions will leave you stranded and facing costly diagnostic work. The rear suspension loses dampening over time, and early models had cracking headlight plastics. But the real killer is the 12,000-mile valve adjustment service. This mandatory maintenance costs around $1,200 every time. Even basic services run $300 to $450. Rectifier replacements cost $33 to $210 for parts, but diagnosing electrical issues involves expensive labor at $100 to $150 per hour. Number 12, KTM 790 Adventure, 2019 to 2020. The KTM 790 Adventure proves that newer doesn't mean better. Early models suffer from camshaft failures and valve drops that destroy entire engines. KTM acknowledged the widespread camshaft problems by implementing a goodwill policy. But that doesn't help when a valve drops and destroys your motor at less than 12,000 miles. Software glitches can brick the entire motorcycle, requiring battery disconnects for hard resets. Random engine cutouts, slipping into neutral, and jerky power delivery make this adventure bike unreliable for any adventure. Camshaft replacement costs $1,861 to $2,459. A complete engine rebuild after valve drop damage runs $3,500 to $5,000. Parts delays can leave you waiting 6 months for critical components, turning your adventure bike into an expensive paperweight. Number 11, KTM 690 Enduro, pre-2019 models. The KTM 690 Enduro looks capable, but its mechanical vulnerabilities can bankrupt unsuspecting owners. The clutch slave O-ring fails regularly, but that's the least of your worries. A snap chain, which happens frequently, creates a cascade of destruction. It breaks the slave cylinder, cracks the engine casing, and destroys the swing arm. Rocker arm failures led to an official recall. The electrical system uses non-waterproof connections that fail when wet, causing EFI system malfunctions. Engine casing damage from a snap chain can cost $4,500 for repairs. Swing arm replacement runs $753 to $886 for parts alone. Even minor electrical repairs cost $700 for wiring harness replacement. The tendency for single failures to cause multiple expensive problems makes this Enduro bike a financial minefield. Before we continue revealing which bikes will empty your wallet faster than a Vegas casino, make sure you're subscribed to stay informed about motorcycle reliability. We're testing and researching these machines so you don't have to learn the hard way. Number 10, MV Agusta F4, 1999 to 2006. The MV Agusta F4 is stunning to look at, but its beauty hides a fundamental flaw that makes ownership a nightmare. This bike will overheat if you're not moving fast enough to get constant airflow. The overheating is so severe that stock plastic fan blades literally melt. Riding in traffic becomes unbearable, and the bike is unsuitable for anything but highway speeds. Build quality is inconsistent despite premium components, and corrosion makes it impossible to ride in rain or on salted roads. Fixing the overheating requires expensive modifications: racing water pump, specialized coolants, extra fans, upgraded fan blades, and fan override switches. Radiator replacement costs $200 to $1,100. A complete engine rebuild runs $1,600 to $2,200 for parts and machining. The limited U.S. dealer network and parts shipped from Italy create months-long delays and inflated costs. Number 9. CF Moto 300 NK 2020 to 2024. The CF Moto 300 NK proves that cheap motorcycles are expensive in the long run. This budget bike suffers from pervasive quality control issues that quickly negate any initial savings. Cylinder head failures occur as early as 3,400 miles. The electrical system's poorly assembled wiring harness causes frequent failures affecting headlights, horn, battery, and switches. Frame weld failures have been reported. Chains and sprockets are described as terrible, needing replacement after just 3,000 miles. Clutch bearings fail at 4,300 miles. Cylinder head replacement costs $3,000 to $6,000 total. Some owners report paying $4,500 for 2 clutch replacements. The bike reportedly spends as much time in the shop as being ridden, with repair costs quickly exceeding the purchase price. Number 8. Honda CX500 Turbo 1982 to 1983. The Honda CX500 Turbo represents Honda's brief experiment with turbocharging, and it's an experiment that creates ongoing financial pain for owners. The stator burns out regularly between 15,000 and 20,000 miles, requiring complete engine removal for replacement. Valve train components, camshaft, rocker arms, valves, and guides show premature wear and pitting with less than 10,000 miles. Pitted valve stems require major replacement procedures. Stator replacement costs $600 including labor, but the recurring nature means multiple repairs. Camshaft grind service costs $175 per cam. Cylinder head rebuilds including valve work cost $390. The extreme difficulty finding mechanics willing to work on this model, combined with rare parts, often makes repairs impossible regardless of budget. Number 7. Suzuki TL1000S 1997 to 2001. The Suzuki TL1000S earned the nickname Widowmaker due to its fundamentally flawed rear suspension design. This isn't just about poor handling, it's about expensive mandatory fixes to make the bike rideable. The rotary-style rear damper overheats easily, causing dangerous rear-end instability and tank slapper incidents. Build quality was inconsistent, with some bikes showing rust when new, paint rubbed away, alloys discolored, and electrical systems frequently malfunction. The frame can crack around the rear shock mounting point. Aftermarket rear shock replacement is essential for safety, costing $1,015 to $1,222 total. Frame crack repairs exceed $150 for parts alone. But welding motorcycle frames is expensive and complex. The bike's reputation as a death trap means significant investment in upgrades is required just to make it safe to ride. Number 6. Harley-Davidson Ultra Classic Electra Glide 2012 and Twin Cam 88 models. The 2012 Harley-Davidson Ultra Classic Electra Glide has a specific defect that can destroy the entire engine without warning. The problematic B-lifters can fail catastrophically, taking the whole motor with them. Harley acknowledged this issue by switching to C-lifters in 2013 and Screamin' Eagle lifters in 2014 to 2015. If a 2012 model still has original B-lifters, failure is not a matter of if, but when. Twin Cam 88 models also suffer from plastic cam chain tensioner failures that can cause sudden engine destruction. Preventive lifter replacement costs $1,000 to $2,500. If the lifters fail and destroy the engine, major rebuilds cost over $6,000. One owner reported engine replacement at 100,000 miles for over $1,500. Even routine services are expensive, with 1,000-mile services costing $340 to $420. Number 5. Harley-Davidson Softail Deluxe Twin Cam 88, 1999 to 2006. The Harley-Davidson Softail Deluxe with Twin Cam 88 engines has a design flaw that can cause catastrophic engine failure without any warning signs. This isn't gradual deterioration. This is sudden death. The plastic cam chain tensioners wear prematurely, but here's the terrifying part. As they wear, plastic shavings enter the oil pump. These shavings act like grinding paste, destroying the pump's internal components. When the oil pump fails, the entire engine seizes instantly, often while riding at highway speeds. There's no warning knock, no gradual loss of power, just sudden, complete engine destruction. Excessive crankshaft runout creates constant vibration that loosens bolts and cracks components throughout the bike. The transmission develops false neutrals where the bike slips out of gear unexpectedly, creating dangerous situations in traffic. Oil leaks around base gaskets and rocker boxes are so common that parking lots can identify Harley owners by the stains they leave behind. The heat generation is extreme. These engines run so hot that riders report burning their legs on the cylinders through their pants. Extended idling in traffic can cause heat-related component failures and make the bike nearly unrideable in summer weather. Cam chain tensioner conversion kits cost $799 to $1,999, but this is mandatory preventive maintenance to avoid engine destruction. Crankshaft repairs range from $1,500 to $5,000 for severe damage. Complete engine rebuilds cost $2,000 to $6,000. Transmission replacement ranges from $5,700 to $6,259. The plastic tensioner design flaw means even meticulously maintained bikes can suffer sudden expensive failures that total the motorcycle. Number 4. Aprilia RS 660 2020 to 2022 early models. The Aprilia RS 660 proves that even modern bikes can have serious quality control issues. Early models suffer from widespread engine, suspension, and electrical problems. Oil leaks, excessive oil consumption, and engines randomly stopping plague early production. Head gasket failures within 5,000 miles have been reported. Rear shocks can explode and lose all oil. The wiring harness is poorly assembled, causing electrical failures. Ride-by-wire throttle and ABS systems glitch frequently. False ABS and traction control errors can brick the bike. Head gasket replacement costs $3,000 to $6,000 total. Clutch assembly replacement runs $1,564 to $1,975. Rear shock replacement costs $909 to $2,225. Wiring harness diagnosis costs up to $7,500 for complete replacement. Parts delays from Italy extend repair times and increase costs. Number 3. Aprilia RSV4 RR 2010 to 2016. The Aprilia RSV4 RR represents Italian engineering at its most complex and expensive. High-performance V4 engines demand premium maintenance costs that will shock unsuspecting owners. The 20,000-kilometer service initially quoted at $650 can escalate to $1,700 due to complex valve adjustments. The plastic coolant manifold cracks regularly, requiring aftermarket aluminum replacement. Electrical systems suffer from rectifier issues and tail section wiring corrosion. General Italian motorcycle maintenance costs are notoriously high. Valve clearance adjustments during major service cost up to $1,700. Aftermarket coolant manifold replacement costs $119 to $135. Rectifier replacement parts range from $33 to $210. The combination of complex V4 maintenance requirements and recurring component failures makes this superbike extremely expensive to maintain properly. Number 2. BMW S1000RR 2010 to 2014 generally. The BMW S1000RR combines German engineering complexity with premium parts prices and frequent electrical issues. Consumer Reports highlights electrical systems as the highest malfunction area across all motorcycle brands, and BMW is no exception. Water pump failures occur prematurely, costing $400 to $800 for replacement. Early March 20th, 10 models had gearboxes described as made of cheese. Engine failures in early bikes have been reported. The 40% failure rate within 4 years makes this one of the least reliable motorcycles available. Engine control module replacement costs $1,062 to $1,165. High-performance gearbox replacement runs $3,950. Valve service at 20,000 miles costs just under $2,000. The combination of high failure rates, expensive German parts, and complex systems creates a perfect storm of ownership costs. Number 1. Ducati Panigale, $1,299, 2015 to 2017. Taking the top spot is the Ducati Panigale $1,299, a bike so problematic it sparked a class action lawsuit citing its horrifically unreliable nature. When lawyers get involved, you know the problems go far beyond normal maintenance issues. The brake system failure is terrifying. Owners reported sudden rear brake failure where the friction material would completely detach from the pad, leaving them with virtually no stopping power. This wasn't gradual wear. This was catastrophic failure that could kill riders without warning. The recall affected thousands of bikes, proving this wasn't isolated incidents but systemic manufacturing defects. But the engine problems are even worse. Timing chain tensioner failure destroys the entire top end. Oil cooler bolts snap without warning, dumping coolant and oil simultaneously. Oil reservoir seals fail, contaminating the entire lubrication system. The clutch slave cylinder fails so regularly that aftermarket companies make upgrade kits specifically to fix Ducati's poor design. The lawsuit documentation reveals the full scope of the disaster. Internal Ducati communications showed they knew about these problems but continued selling defective bikes. Owners weren't just facing expensive repairs, they were risking their lives on machines the manufacturer knew were dangerous. Desmo valve service costs $1,300 to $3,400 at dealerships, and this isn't optional maintenance. It's mandatory to prevent catastrophic engine damage. Engine replacement costs around $4,000 for used units, assuming you can find one that isn't also defective. If major engine work becomes necessary, costs can exceed $6,000. The existence of both recalls and class action lawsuits proves these aren't isolated incidents, but systematic design failures. This isn't just the most expensive bike to repair on our list, it's the most dangerous. Notice how many bikes on this list bankrupted their own manufacturers? Design flaws so catastrophic, they killed entire brands. Want the full story? Check out my video on 13 motorcycles that killed their own brand. Links in the corner.